Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Speaking Out Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Today, Wednesday, the 15th day of February, 2023. We are here. We are ready and raring to go. My colleague is already in the studio, and I can see the numbers are mounting. The numbers are mounting. People just there ready and waiting for the show today. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And again, you know the drill. Share the live, let them know that we are in the studio and we are ready and here to give you the information that you need to know. Again, let's give praise and thanks for being here in the land of the living. Many have not been so fortunate. But keep sharing the life, keep sharing the life. I see people are running into the classroom. People are running to the classroom. People have been here very, very, very early. They have been here early this morning, line up for class to commence. The class will commence shortly. We have lots and lots of information to give you today. Again, I don't know if we're going to be able to share all the information that we have with you today, but as we said, we will run it. I noticed over the last couple of weeks, program has been averaging like about an hour and 40 minutes, but we will continue. We will be here and to give you the information. We will give you the information. We allowing others to come in. I'm going through this preamble, allowing others to join. You might have heard a new theme song this morning. I know, Dudley, you like listen to the song. As a Jamaican man, you got music in your blood, so you would normally comment on the theme song. Now, the reason is, full disclosure, we want to make sure you understand what is going on. We had some challenges with the first two. The one was there all the time, copyright claim violation. And then the last one that we selected after the program last week, YouTube advised that there is a copyright violation claim. So they suggested, there's YouTube, suggested some songs that can be played without any fear of being violating any copyright issue. So the one this morning, I selected that one. Very bouncy and catchy. I hope that you like it. Very bouncy, because this program is a very invigorating program. So yes, that is the reason why you would have heard this new theme song, the introductory song this morning. I hope you like it. Let me know. Make a comment as to whether you think it's a good song. Let us know. Let me know. And as you say, we are here to make sure that people like this program, and people will continue to support this program because, again, I say that I am extremely pleased by what has been happening with this program. Last week program, for example, we had in excess of 8,000, 9,000 persons viewing on the platforms. The two platforms that we operate on are Facebook and YouTube, and we had over about 9,000 persons tuning in, viewing the program. So let us know. Let me know if you like the new song, and if you do, then we will continue with that. If it is that we have a consensus that maybe we need to play something a little bit more sedate, perhaps we'll do that a little more classical. But I like the bouncy thing, man. I like waking you up, bouncy introduction, the morning, bouncy introduction. Again, share the live. Let me run through the roll call. We have so many posts, and again, I told you what happens with the roll call is that from the time the program is scheduled in the morning, sometimes it's early, 2-3 hours before it is scheduled on YouTube, then people on YouTube can actually log in and make comment. They can log in and comment. Whereas the people on Facebook have to wait until we go live at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock Guyana time before they can start it. They can start to make the comment. Somebody said they did not hear the theme song and they were from the beginning. That is Princess. I don't know. Well, let me also tell you that I try a thing this morning because the usual my usual help was not here this morning, so I try a thing, and I will try a few more things during the course of the program this morning to try to give you some video and try to give you some graphics. So we're not gonna only talk; we're gonna present you with some video. People said they did not hear it, so something must have gone wrong. My apologies if you did not hear the theme song. But we did play it. I had a well, somebody say, I guess YouTube. Ian is saying a beautiful theme song. So some persons heard it, and maybe some persons did not. But we're gonna seek to get that sorted out because we want all of you to hear what's going on. We're not gonna mute you. We don't want to mute you. That is not our style. We're gonna make sure that everyone hears what is going on. So we will seek to address that as we go along. Well, so that's the story of the roll call. The people who come in early on YouTube, I can see them first, but then we have to wait until such time that they go live at 11 before we can see the others. So share the live, share the live. A lot of people saying they did not hear it, while some people said that they did hear the thing. And let me run through. Man, the first man in the house this morning, first man in the house we have here, we have Lyndon, then we have John coming in. Let me give you the timings. Lyndon came in at, what time did Lyndon come in this morning? He came in at 8:14. John came in at 8:18. Lyndon is from Patterson, New Jersey. John is from Clarksville, Tennessee. Then we have a regular Patricia came in at 8:50. Then we had Miss Squaddy man 9407 came in here this morning at 8:55, and he indicated, as you can see, there is a first timer, a virgin viewer. Welcome, BX. Welcome, man. I'm glad to know that you are finally, after over 1 year, joined this program. You got to buy a drink for that after 1 year. Then we had Duan next in, and then Vibert. Vibert, you came in at 9:18. Vibert is a regular. He's always there. He says is he a little late, but you're late because the program started at 11 New York time, and he came in. They say he was work related. Then we had Kudawashi coming in next at 9:47. John came in next at what time? 9:55. We had Jacko from Georgia. Jacko from Georgia came in here at 9:57. We had Anthony next, saying good morning. Anthony came in at 10. And what? We had David. David came in next. Golf Mike, for those of you who don't know, Golf Mike GM. Good morning. Then we had Machu. We had Kurt. We had Floyd. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to think. These things are so I'm trying. Then we had Princess, always here from Lamar Springs. And then my squad mate, Carl, he's all the way from Arizona. He was here with us this morning. And Sagi from Bobby's. Welcome, Sagi. Welcome. Good to see you here early in the morning. Good man, Sagi. Very experienced former police officer. Cecile. Then we had John. John is a regular too. You don't miss it. Already he falling on cover down and he waiting. Then we had Tamo. Tamo came in there reporting for senior duties. Then Jakey came in next. Jakey said morning. Jakey is from Maryland. Then Aline, as one man would say, 8941, he said was his regulation number. He came in to join us. Then we had Hazel. Then we had Derek. Then we had Francis Ann. Winston, not a regular. 9795 Young, all the way from Canada. He's here with us. Then my good friend from Jamaica, Dudley, came in this morning to join us. What time Dudley came in? Dudley came in, let me see the time. I made a note of the time. Dudley came in here this morning at 11:10. So welcome, Dudley. We had Sydney. We had Barbara. Then Brendan came back to give his number, 10065. Mr. Thompson. Then Kevin. Then Winston. Chris was here. Isabella. Frankie, my squaddy. I am 49, he's 51. So welcome. And then of course, another regular Vibart from East Bank, always here in the morning. We had Lynette from Barbados. Welcome, people from Barbados. We have people from Canada, all over the US, people from the UK, all over people are here watching. And then when we went live, you see Lynette is one of the first for Facebook. Then we had Simone, Stian, Sherrod, and the Facebook people started to come in when we went live. This is a regular Abdun, all the way from Essequibo Coast, came in, and he's there. Dennis, good man too, experienced, knowledgeable police. They want to make use of this knowledge. They want to make noise and say all kind of things. Shotman, welcome, Shotman, from the US. And the secretary was here. Can't miss the secretary. She was here this morning, early. Heather is another early and regular person here. Schwartzy, Leon was here, as usual, every Wednesday. Every Wednesday is here. Welcome all. Welcome, Orin. Share the live. Mark was here. Welcome, Mark. Welcome all at one and all. As I said, we have a lot to discuss this morning. So without any delay, let's go into it. As I would normally say to you, we have to give praise and thanks to the Almighty for allowing us. Let me start up my startup. Praise and thanks to the Almighty for allowing us to see this new day. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. So many others were not this fortunate. We have to give praise and thanks to the Lord for allowing us to be in the land of the living. We are in the land of the living. We must rejoice and we must celebrate. Because as we say, nothing happens without the intervention of the man, the big man. Whether you want to call him Allah, you call him Jah, you call him God, whatever you want to call him, the big man, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him, nothing happens without it. So let's give praise and thanks for being here this morning. And the first thing I want to start to talk about, last week when we were on this program, I did mention this devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria. And at that time, that's last week, Wednesday, the death toll was in the vicinity of 6,000. This morning, when I read the news, Al Jazeera, the death toll now is what? Over 41,000 people. Can you imagine that? This devastating earthquake in Turkey and Syria has claimed the lives so far 41,000 and counting. And to give that some perspective, because when you hear these figures, you might not understand the reality. Now, when you compare that to some of the regions in Guyana, the 41,000, let me give some context. Region 1, which is up Barimo Wini, has approximately 25,000 persons. That's the whole region. Region 7, right, has about 18,000 persons. Region 8, 11,000. Then we have region 9, that is Letem area, about 20,000. Region 10, which is Linden, Ichunida area, they have about 41,000 persons. So this 41,000 they're told that we're talking about in Turkey and Syria is far more than the population of many of our regions. And this morning or two, reading in Al Jazeera, I was pleased to see or to read as only this morning, I think it's a Dutch rescue team, they were able to rescue at least 4 persons. 9 days have passed since this devastating earthquake, and people are still being rescued alive. God is good. God is great. We must rejoice and we must celebrate. While we pray and we offer condolences to the relatives of those who have perished, we must rejoice over the fact that after 9 days, persons are still being pulled alive from the rubble. That is miraculous, basically. It is miraculous. And then we have, so moving on from that, Lado, welcome, Lado. Welcome, Carol. Como, 8218 reporting for duty. Welcome. Welcome to you guys. Continue to share the live. The numbers are mounting rapidly. So let's pray for those persons who have passed. And then I regret to announce the death of ex-woman Sergeant Olga Barker. Many of the younger people will not know Olga. Olga was the secretary of retired Deputy Commissioner Sultan Qasim. When Sultan came back to the force from the National Guard Service, he was in the National Guard Service with Larry Lewis. I can't remember his exact position. But when he came back over into the force, he brought Olga with him. And she was a very pleasant person. Very pleasant person. So she passed away recently, I understand, in New Jersey. Toro, welcome, Toro. She passed away. So Olga passed. Then we have the death of, according to what, this was only yesterday, I got word, ex-band member Desmond Cosbert Fraser. His regulation number was 7470. He was also a member of the Chronicle Atlantic Symphony Steel and Brass Orchestra. He died on February 13th in the USA. And the other death to announce is the death, not a police one of such, but a very well-known Guyanese, a friend of mine, Alan Arthur Fenty. He's described by someone in one of the letters today as the quintessential self-made man. And then I give a little background to him. So read it. It's in the Starbrook newsletter section today. He was a folklorist, author, broadcaster, cultural enthusiast, columnist of Frankly Speaking. Frankly Speaking was a program that was published in Starbrook News every Friday. And I looked forward to Fridays to reading Alfen. His name in some of these seasons, Alfen, on a Friday. He also had a show, the Guyana Cook-Up show on TV on Saturday mornings. Then he had a radio show speaking about Guyanese and West Indian culture. I think the name of the show was Words of Wisdom. What he did in that program was to tell you these parables, all these old-time sayings, and then explain what these sayings mean. And he died a few days ago, and I saw last night the arrangements for his funeral. They said there will be a night of reflection Friday the 17th at the Cultural Center, Tarmac. As we say, he was a cultural icon. And funeral service on Saturday the 18th, that is this Saturday, at the same Cultural Center, Tarmac, at 11 a.m. The viewing will be from 9 to 11. And then he will be cremated at the Good Hope East Coast Demerara Crematorium. So that is at 2 p.m. That will take place at 2 p.m. So Alan Arthur Fenty is no longer with us. And again, condolences to all the relatives and friends of those deceased persons. As we say, no one, not the day. And here we have people who are on the face of the Lord, who have been permitted by the Master to be on the face of the Lord. They're doing everything. They're fighting down people. They're telling all sorts of lies about people. And they believe that they are the most powerful. But the big man is the all-powerful one. He is the all-powerful. And all this run around they're doing, he decides tomorrow you have to go, you have to go. So we have to live well. We have to live right. So those are the persons. And then finally we had this, and I mention it because of the circumstances, a fire at Windsor Forest in the past week, where a man died, a man perished. Well, they think got some people's attention because the man is known as Slowy. I know a lot of people call me Slowy. And the man who perished, known as Slowy, there was this fire, and they're saying that the fire was electrical in nature. And a sad story, because apparently he came out and did not see his grandson. So he went back in the building looking for his grandson, and he perished. And they discovered later that the grandson was not in the building at the time. So this man, I can't remember his name, but he's carried in the news. He died. So condolences to the relatives and friends of all those persons. But let me bring in my co-accused and co-host and all of that, CC. CC, welcome. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you. And I'm happy that you didn't mute me, Paul.
Well, as I said, we end the unmuted thing. Canty, We don't mute people, Yanti, we don't mute people. We allow people to express their views. We allow people, we are not of that ilk. We are not going to mute people because you don't want to hear what they have to say. We are bigger than that. And I will make some brief remarks on that in a little while. Let me make some brief remarks on that. So me and muting nobody. Me and muting nobody. Them who muting, they perhaps are versed in that type of activity. I am, as you would say in Guyana, I am Dessa. Me and Dessa, I am not muting anyone. So welcome, CC. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, and I'm happy to be in the land of the living. And I just want to make a correction. What I saw there on the screen is that John Rogers referred to me as deputy commissioner. I was never a deputy commissioner. I was assistant commissioner. I can recall Paul Slow was the leading person to become a deputy commissioner. They had vacancy for 4 persons. Jack Dio didn't want to give anything, so all of us suffered. But at no time did we refer to ourselves as deputy commissioner admin, deputy commissioner ops, deputy commissioner enforcement, deputy commissioner Suku, and them places that we stood our ground and we were the assistant commissioner.
And we retired proudly.
Yes.
And with our LI as assistant commissioners. I had almost 12 years in the rank, 12 years in that rank, right? And I held my head proudly when I retired. When I retired, I had a big farewell parade and I made some statements. They're still there for you people. One of these days, I'm going to put them up. One of these days, I'm going to put them up. Welcome, Rhonda. Welcome, Carlton, Popo, Desiree. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Share the live. Commissioner Cole, welcome, 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 one and all. Continue to share the live. Continue to share the live. And let me send belated birthday greetings to Elise. Canty, Denny is born. Elise had a birthday recently. So let me send you to Elise is a regular in the program. I'm not sure if she's here now this morning, but she's a regular. Also, belated birthday greeting to our next regular, Franklin Mingo. Franklin was once there as a PSC to McDonald. Franklin had a birthday recently. So too did retired assistant commissioner Kevin Adonis. One man will get a jump up charge to Kevin. Had a birthday recently. And I want to send out happy birthday greetings to my another co-accused, Conway and myself, but Mr. Ivla Whitaker. He celebrates his birthday today, and I would want to wish him happy birthday. Ivla, hope you have a wonderful day. And we are going to celebrate when those trump-up charges have finally been dismissed. We're gonna celebrate the birthday and the dismissal of the charges. CC, I'm sure you would want to join in wishing those Ivla in particular birthday greetings to him.
Well, let me start with Franklin Mingo. I didn't call him. I didn't remember. I know it will cost me a couple of GT beers, but there's it. And also special greetings to my co-accused, my friend, my brother, everything. Ivla Wediko. Enjoyed Ivla. We talked during the course of the day.
Yeah, Carlton says Adonis is his squaddy. So I remember he celebrated his birthday recently. And yesterday, of course, was Valentine's Day. You would note CC got on a red shirt, so perhaps he's still celebrating Valentine's. So for all of you who had Valentine's, hope you found love. Hope you continue to be in love. Hope you had a wonderful Valentine's Day. And those of you who have not found love, hope you continue to look and that you will find at some stage. So CC, welcome with your Valentine shirt.
All right, thank you. But it's not only Valentine, I wear it so I could burn out some people, especially persons who are weak down their leg side. But I'm not born in any buildings. So my friend's gonna call me and say I'm an intellectual author. I'm burning out some people.
When you say you're burning out, you had me a little worried because remember they got a song which they really want to buy. It is, yeah. Well, we got a little bubble here just now. For Ultimate rejects Full Extreme. Listen to the song, so they don't want to hear you sing that song. It's a nice song, so watch how you're using the thing. You're burning out bad eye. As I said, say burning out bad eye. Yes, and then we had Valentine's, and then over the last weekend for my American friends and even farther afield, you had the Super Bowl, a fantastic game. I'm not a American football lover, but you know, something like Super Bowl, you can't miss. And many people tuning just to watch the halftime performance. Rihanna at her best. You know, it's a funny thing, you know, especially this Canty and all of these people, Denise and them. They look at the halftime show with all those songs, but all they could see is that Rihanna looked like she in the family's way. So everybody commenting, and it was confirmed later that she is pregnant with her second child. So again, congratulations to Riri, the Bajan icon. Guyanese trying to claim she says she mother is Bajan and she mother is Guyanese and she father is Bajan. They're trying to claim. But claim your alone, man. You claim what the girl name Wright, Letitia Wright from Black Panther. She's Guyanese. So stick to your own. Don't try and go outside the stumps, so to speak. So yes, those are some of the things. And for those spouses, I know we have a lot of people here who are cricket fans. Ulrich is Nami here, Jakey, and many others. I know they like cricket. So I guess you're celebrating the recent West Indies victory over Zimbabwe. Now, at this stage, any victory is a victory. So don't tell me Zimbabwe is a lowly placed team. You get a victory, be thankful. And Guyanese are particularly celebrating the exploits of Moti, Gokadesh Moti. You have it here, 13 for 99. The market 13. Commissioner Cole say, yes, West Indies win. 13 for 99. And to put that in some context, give perspective, it is the best bowling figure in the history of West Indies cricket by a spinner. He eclipsed Sonny Ramadan, who had in 1950. Sonny Ramadan had figures here of what? Sonny had figures of 11 for 152. That's way back in 1950. Ramadan had figures of 11 for 152. So Moti, 13 for 99 in the match, or these match figures, is the third best bowling figure by a West Indian bowler, whether it's pace bowler or spin. The best is Mikey Olin. Mikey Olin got 14 for 149. I remember that match very well. That was at Lenny he said South Africa waiting for them. South Africa waiting, but this one making the point you have to celebrate the victories as they come. Because you don't know when again you're gonna get to celebrate. Some of you celebrating this one. I don't care. South Africa waiting, I Bianchi. Some Mikey Olin at 14 for 149 at the Oval. And I remember that game very well. And then we also had Courtney Walsh, had a remarkable figure against New Zealand some years ago. He had 13 for 55. 13 for 55. So those are the only two bowling figures that were better than Moti's 13 for 99 against Zimbabwe. Let me celebrate. And I know as Guyanese, you're going to celebrate a little extra because Guyana are in the news for so many bad things that when these things come about, we have got to celebrate, we have got to be proud, we have got to congratulate. Now, let me say this. Let me try to be a little controversial. Given the fact that this is such a great performance. Of course, we had Tage in the first test with a double 100. Given that this is such a great performance, one can very well expect when he returns in the next month or so after the tour of South Africa, a lot of carpet, red and blue and green carpets are going to be rolling out for him. Because if they roll out carpet like that for the Hollywood star, I'm not sure if it's Hollywood, but the star, Letitia Wright, I can anticipate that Moti Gokadesh gonna get it to roll out too. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. So yeah, you could say what you want, Carlton. Don't hit or miss or whatever, bro. We got 13 for 99, and we are celebrating our 13 for 99. We are celebrating it. So yes, CC, I know you're a cricket enthusiast. You might want to say something about that. Let me hear you.
I remember Michael Holland play of the 14 wickets, 9 were either bowl or LBW, and he got those wickets on a feather bed. And as you mentioned, a victory is a victory. I told my wife earlier that, hey, there's nothing really to celebrate. And she says a victory is a victory. So you made our day this morning, Paul.
Yeah, man. A victory is a victory. They don't come often. They don't come often. So when we get them, we have got to celebrate. We have got to rejoice. They are so infrequent these days. So we have got to celebrate. Now, to move on, Mr. Conway, CC, my brother, um, let me let me deal one of the issues. A lot of people have been calling me during the course of the week to ask my views on this issue. Last Friday, we know Cooper funeral was last Friday. You were there, and people. Well, I don't think you knew because let me say this: people were calling me to find out if the thing would have been streamed live, and I was trying to make contact, and we were told initially it would be streamed on the police page, and then we were told that arrangements have been made for it to be on Zoom, and we didn't see it. I didn't see it. So going through social media, I saw this live stream. So I tuned into it, listened to what was going on, and then or the moderator, the MC called you, and then I see a big thing on the screen, mic muted, and then immediately the camera panned away from the podium and the audience. So I did not get to hear the people who were watching on the thing on social media did not get to hear a word of what you say. What really took place there, CC? Bring our viewers up to date.
Well, I was there, and I went there to pay my regards to the earthly remains of my son. I call him. He used to call me Daddy, Edmund Cooper, and to offer words of comfort to his bereaved family, his wife and his children. And I spoke. I talked about his career, the Guyana Police Force's achievement, thought how he believed in self-development and what he achieved in the police force and what he got at the university. And afterwards, I think you called me sometime after the program and said you were muted. I didn't realize I was muted. And I wonder why. I I don't know if they thought that, look, I would have gone to that place, a place of divine worship, and say controversial things. That isn't me. I took an oath in the police force, and part of said, without favor or affection, malice or ill will. I don't hold malice for people. And I went there to speak to Cooper's family. And maybe they thought the person who muted me, maybe the person thought that, hey, Conway would have gone there and say certain uncomplimentary things about the police. I wrote, maybe they wanted me, they thought I would have said, hey, the treatment that meted out to Cooper when they remove him from his command in West Borbies because he didn't want to use lethal force against unarmed persons. They thought I would have talked about maybe put him in an office, smart project office, no project for him to evaluate, and I asked him to do equitation and those kind of things. They thought I would have, spoke about the way they treat him, the unprofessional way they treated him, that they published in the Forsado on the 2nd of December that he approval grant for him to withdraw from the force, retire from the force on medical grounds on the 1st of December. But I didn't go there to talk those things. I go there to pay my tribute to my son. And I must mention I have several sons and daughters in the Guyana Police Force, Paul. And there are certain things for internal consumption, certain things are for external consumption. So whoever muted me, I want to let them know that I am not weak down the leg side, and I'm not a leggy. And the things that I want to say, I will say them, but I know at which forum I will speak. A place of divine worship, I will not do that.
But let me tell you, well said. Let me say. There are a lot of things upset me with what transpired. I'm going to talk about them briefly. Now, the first thing I want to say is that I don't comment. Well, whoever mute the mic on Panaway, I think we all know who the thing was, who it was. But my mother, Lydia Alberta, God rest her soul, taught me many years ago. She said, Paul, always be careful with 3 categories of things. She said things. And one of the categories is stray dog. She said, don't mess with stray dog. Because stray dog can turn back and bite you. Sometimes they get rabies, they get infected, it can kill you. She said next, don't mess with Lil Bye. She said, they used to say Lil Bye bicycle, now get brakes. So don't mess with Lil Bye. And the third category, she said, not mess with them who weak down the leg side. Because when they're weak down the leg side, they just do and they just stack and they just do all kind of thing. So I am guided by what my mother told me many, many years ago. I ain't messing with stray dog. I ain't messing with Lil Bye. I ain't messing with them who weak down the leg side. And especially if them seem to fall in all three of them categories, I stay in far from them. And you know, they say, Auntie don't set me up. Me and no, she never tell me that. She tell me Lil Bye stray dog and never weak dog the leg side. If your mother tell you about what you mentioned in there, that is up. Then the thing say, they refer to this program as sitcom, the Conslow sitcom. Well, the Conslow sitcom had over, as I said, almost 9,000 viewers last week. And right now we get hundreds and hundreds of people on YouTube and Facebook looking at it. But you know, it is significant that that thing refer to it as sitcom because according to Mudwater, not me, according to Mudwater, the thing that set for people to come. So you must know what they're saying. It is significant that you're not referring to nothing to cartoon. I think the thing did say cartoon, but they say sitcom. They say sitcom. So and Mudwater said that thing sits for people to come. So I understand nothing more about that. Let people form their own judgment. I saw Bonita Montague or Montague, whatever you wanted to call. She was so upset that the very night, last week Friday, she went and she did a live. And she said what she had. She spoke her mind. She became very emotional at one stage. And I was told this morning that last night on in the ring, Sherrod had part of that. So those of you who missed what Bonita said, I think it's on social media. And I'm recognizing over the fact that she used one expletive. I don't encourage that. I will not use expletive on this program. But I could understand people get emotionally, people get emotional and they vent their feelings. And let me say this. Listen to that thing, to the service, to the tributes on Friday. But if I could have put me on in my television and slapped some of them who were speaking, I would have done so. To look and to listen to the hypocrisy. People coming out and praising this Cooper. Cooper was such a great person. Cooper was such a great officer. They're the man who sits in the chair showing praises on Cooper. And they are the ones who stress Cooper out. They are the ones who stress Cooper out. And to hear the Minister of Home Affairs go up on the program to speak on behalf of himself, His Excellency the President, and his cabinet colleagues, to me it was very nauseating because it's the minister, the same minister who was speaking there about this man, start all the issue. He started it, and Mr. Conway will remember on the 24th of December 2020, and I'm gonna let me put up for you to see what he what happened. As Mr. Conway said, Cooper was in charge of Region 5. When Region 5 was the place where the Henry boys lived and they were murdered, people say, well, alleged murder. Well, alleged murder. You find two men in the backlands, they are almost decapitated, brutalized, and there's an alleged murder. You know it's murder. You know it is murder. You want to suggest that his animals would have done that to them? You want to suggest that he might have committed suicide in that way? So when they write about this alleged murder, I really don't understand what they're talking about. It was murder. People came out to protest, and the powers that be that sat in Georgetown wasn't comfortable with the action taken by Cooper. They wanted him to use force to remove those persons. He did not. So they removed him from his command. They relieved him, unceremoniously relieved him of his command. And then they put him in a corner someplace. And then the stress started with him. And then on the 24th of December 2020, the Minister of Home Affairs communicated to the acting commissioner, Nigel Appy, that he wants Cooper and others charged criminally for varying offenses. And look, I'm putting up here for you to read what I said about Cooper. Read for yourself. Read for yourself. That is what was written by the Force Administration, that Cooper. Let me read it and you're going to read for yourself. This officer was the commander of Police Regional Division 5. The Bobby's unrest following the alleged murder of Isaiah and Joel Thomas took place during his tenure. It is alleged that he facilitated the unlawful activities by actively, I highlighted that in red for emphasis, assisted protesters and deliberately failed to take appropriate action. He allegedly assisted with transportation. This investigation is being conducted by CID headquarters. And this is what was written since December 2020. December 2020. This is what was written about Cooper. And then to hear the same minister go there on Friday and to paint all this good picture, this glowing picture. We know that Cooper was a good man, but to hear it coming from him, who actually started this problem, was to me, very nauseating. And then it caused me to realize that the dead has no power. Because if the dead had power, I am sure that dead would have come out of that coffin and clap one box for all them who coming here for pay to shed the crocodile tears and then say all kind of good things about a man. As I said, even though we knew he was a good man, coming from them, it was problem. And as Mr. Conway said, the really man retired on the medical grounds. Let me bring in back CC. On the medical grounds, retired. Posada number 47 of 2022. The have that he retired. This Posada published on the 2nd day of December 2022 to say that Cooper's retired on medical grounds on the 4th of December 2022. Nothing of it. Well, all the procedures weren't followed. They were so glad to get rid of him. They were so glad that they hustled and said they retire him on the medical grounds. Another very worrying and disrespectful act is that the very day that he died, the man who sits in the chair as acting commissioner found himself as the man's residence with video camera and all of these things rolling. A big PR thing. A big PR thing going on. Big PR. So that, and well, CC, I want you to comment on the fact that the man got a full military funeral. So the force order published on the 2nd of December that he's no longer a member of the force, having retired on the medical grounds on the 4th of December. But the man got military funeral afterwards. So CC, let me hear your comments.
Well, I was shocked, and I'm pulling something in the press because, as far as I'm concerned, Cooper was a civilian. Judging from their records, right? Cooper went off medically unfit. But there are numerous questions to be answered. Did they engage the Police Service Commission, or I would say the Unlawful Police Service Commission, a commission that the Chief Justice said is not fully constituted and it cannot perform any function? That in terms of discipline, promotion, and removal from office for inspectors to assistant commissioner, it is the Police Service Commission. Did the police take it on their own? They get a letter saying that he was medically unfit and just read him out without doing the normal protocol, send it to persons where it's supposed to go to the Police Service Commission. Well, they can't act as another story, so they're going to maybe use the doctrine of necessity. The thing is that Cooper, as far as I'm concerned, was a civilian. He was not no senior superintendent. The police record saying he came off medically unfit on the 4th of December. Or perhaps to show face, to show that they care about him and they care about the family, they order a funeral, a ceremonial funeral. And they also I saw the operational order, the Barrows party, the Monas party, and all sort of thing. And when they went across to West Demerara, it was total horrors. If you see the burial ground, oh Jesus, if you see the burial ground, they nearly fall along with the casket. Even the commander, one of the commanders, he can't hold his sword properly. His sword dropped down on the ground. I know in my days as commander, if there is a burial, I used to make sure that we check the burial ground and make sure we have space that persons could march and walk. Then I had a total confusion at that burial ground. And I would say incompetence at our level, at headquarters and in Region 3.
Yeah,
And
but you know,
let,
I saw the thing, and people were calling and making comment. Even now, somebody is saying here on social media, there's a lot of bush, and don't tell me that is not a police job. I know, as Mr. Conway indicated, once there was a police funeral, the people would go there to make sure that the area is proper. If you have to build bridges, I recall many times people right in La Pontier, policemen are buried, and you might have to construct a bridge to get over some drain or some trench. That is the responsibility of the police, and
yeah,
that is what we normally do. But this time around, nothing. Well, of course, they're glad that many of them only crying crocodile tears. They wanted to get rid of him, perhaps not through death, but for them, he dead and they didn't care much. And let me say this to them. I know they're listening. They're gonna make note. The way to correct the situation that you find yourself in, I hope you would have been so advised, is that you have to cancel that part of the order that says that he retired on the medical grounds from the 1st of December 2021. You have to make another publication and refer to Force Order 4722, para whatever it is, and say that that is cancelled. Because based on your action following his death, the order that he has, which states that he has retired under medical grounds, has to be cancelled. It has to be cancelled so that people can get his survivors can get the benefits or not. So let me wait. So you're getting some free advice there. You're getting some free advice. Talk about the proper preparation. No, even the order. Even the orders you mentioned. I mean, these things, people might say you're picking at things and you're finding fault, but you're not finding fault. When you sit in certain positions, you have to pay attention to details. You have to pay attention to details. So even the force order or the special order that they publish, they directing the quartermaster to provide bayonet and belt. This is an officer's funeral. An officer's funeral. You don't provide bayonet and belt. You provide the sword and the sash. I mean, they provide the sword. They provided the sword and the sash. But I'm saying that when you go into the order, you have to sit down and make sure that these things are properly outlined. You can't be making mistake in a special order like that. I know special order, force orders have to go through several layers to check to make sure every word on every item is correct. Apparently, those things no longer obtain. That is why you have all of this nonsense going on. Talking about preparation for funerals and all of that. I remember years ago, I was the officer in charge at TSU when Richard Feikel was shot and killed on the Essequibo coast. Larry Lewis was the commissioner. ISOC TSU had to travel to Essequibo coast. That is the first time I traveled to Essequibo coast with speedboat to make sure that the arrangements were in place, that the burial site was well prepared, and where the slow march will start. I had to go and do all of these things and come back and brief the commissioner. But apparently now all of those things don't are no longer. People more interested in the politics. They turn politicians. So these important aspects of the police management and administration are no longer operating. So CC, I don't want to go on. As I said,
let me just close off this thing. Even at the burial, remember the firing party, they could not have recovered the spent shells used there because of the state of the ground. And even on the order too, there was nothing mentioned about the burial ground, nothing mentioned about the burial ground. And I just want to say, close off, and this is my final say with that thing that is weak down the left side. I'm going to use Alan Fenty's word. Perhaps the thing is drinking bush for Hickens fever. But come July, I don't know what's going to happen unless there's an extension.
Well, let me hope. Let me see. Well, not let me hope, but let me see what will happen. Again, welcome. Let me say hello. You see, all those who come, Bray, welcome back, Bray. Who more came? Joanne, welcome from Pennsylvania. And so many other persons have joined. Welcome to you all. Continue to share the live. Triforza, welcome. All of those persons who are joining. Let me run the list to see those who have joined. Henry Fordyce and others. Speak up or shut up, Susu. That is a new one. Speak up. This is the name. Let me put it up. Speak up or shut up, Susu. That is the name of the person who is coming there. So welcome, Yvonne from the Bronx. Welcome to you all. Now let me move on. This is something that we were to mention last week, but time ran out from us. I understand that many ranks are tendering their resignation, CC. Many people decide that they can't take what's going on any longer. They're sending in their resignation. I understand that one of the things that in the past couple of weeks that accelerated this process is that the man who sits in the chair at the inspectors and sergeant conference, and he made a statement to the effect that the promotion, we have what we call the appropriate qualifying examination. And for those of you who don't know, the police standing order says that to be promoted from a constable to corporal, you have to pass the appropriate qualifying examination. And appropriate is the operative word. To be promoted to the rank of inspector, there is another appropriate qualifying examination. And to be promoted to an officer, assistant superintendent, you have to pass the examination again. So a lot of people hustle and pass the examination, several sittings, and they pass the examination. But it is now said, it is reported, it is alleged that the man who sits in the chair says that is not the main criterion anymore. That whether you pass the examination or whether you have university qualification, that is not going to be it. You have to, in addition, pass certain core courses. I guess the courses related to policing, but people are making noise. We say, look, you're there and you're working diligently. You pass the examination, the appropriate qualifying examination, and now to bring this thing in, it's unfair. People are saying that this is unfair. And they made reference to the fact that only recently 29 persons were recruited from the road, so to speak. These are people who completed some course, I think the law degree at university, recruited in the force and promoted as sergeants. And people are complaining because they also are referencing the fact that in August of 2020, shortly after the government came into power, some men were recruited into the Presidential Guard in August. And in September of that same year, they were promoted to the rank of sergeant. So some people are saying it makes no sense to stick around in the Ghana Police Force because there's no career path if you want to be dedicated, if you want to be honest. And therefore, I understand that many persons, people tell me dozens and dozens of persons within the past couple of months have tendered their resignation. I understand that the attrition rate is tremendous. A lot of people just deciding, some retiring and some people just walking off the job and say, forget about it. So we need to, I hope the authorities are looking at this. I hope the authorities are looking at this. Sisi, you want to argue a bit to that?
Yes, I also heard about the sergeant and inspectors conference, and they said they know promotion exam, and they're dealing with core courses. I don't know what they call core courses, but sometime when the man who sits in the seat there was a force training officer, he got somebody to present to him some courses without any proper study for constables and corporals and sergeants and inspectors. And he called them core courses. Understand it? they were doing. I have copies of all of them. And first they said don't judge a book by its cover. Nicely spiral binding. But when you go into them, you share course. The objectives are not smart. And when I say smart, they're not specific. They're not measurable. They're not achievable. They're not realistic. They're not timely. And when you look at the objectives and the course contents does not support the objectives. The objectives say one thing, and when you dive into the training program, just a series of subject matter just put together. And apparently those courses are designed for cramming. You cram the course, not for people to conceptualize and internalize. It's chalk and talk basically. So I don't know how people go learn. And those persons who submitted them courses to the man at the top there, I don't think that they knew anything really about training. They're not training. So they need to go back to them and analyze them and get people to really look at them, people who know about training. Don't ask me, because you ask me, I got pay, and then I'll get another charge for conspiracy to defraud. But apart from that, Paul, I don't know if you have seen it, but Force Order number 25 of 2001, dated the 25th of June 2021, it talk about qualifications for you to reach certain rank. They mention from deputy superintendent to commissioner, and all those courses, all those areas call for commissioner in first instance has to get a master's degree. Deputy commissioner has to get a master's degree also. Senior superintendent, a master's degree. Superintendent, at least a first degree. Deputy superintendent, first degree. And they have to attend certain courses. They talk about senior command staff course, junior command staff course, a leadership course. Police don't run them courses though. So where in heaven they're going to attend those courses? And when you look at it, to me it looked like a real plagiarism. I was a resource person for the Jamaica Constabulary Staff College, and I could tell you they conduct senior staff course, leadership course, junior staff course. Police don't conduct them courses though. So how the persons going to qualify? The last senior officer course that was conducted was me in 2012. Since then, none. The last junior officer course, same year, around 2 in that year. Since then, none. All they're doing is jumping by the place and talking a whole bundle of nonsense to look good that they're running courses, and they're running courses as the case, or they're masquerading where training is concerned. And if it was the Force Order in 21, last year, when they made the promotion, the bogus promotion, they didn't use this criteria that was published in the Force Order. The man in charge of admin said they look at gender and they look at race. And when I challenge it, he pulled along the interview, he pulled it off, and then they look at it, not a female was promoted to senior superintendent nor assistant commissioner. And they're qualified and they're competent, not one. And they really look at race too, because in the assistant commissioner promotion, 5 out of 8 were of a certain race. Senior superintendent, 7 out of 11, a certain race. Superintendent, 10 out of 21, a certain race. And that was not the dominant race. And we know what is the dominant race in the Guyana Police Force. So a lot of competent persons were not promoted. And then again, the more I look back, there was it on the 1st of July, a man who considered himself a bishop, the so-called head of the Police Service Commission, made a statement saying that he was awaiting the recommendations for promotion from police ranks on the first, and on the second, 250-something persons ready in that promotion. Nothing was checked. No due diligence was checked. That's why they wake up Dr. Peter. They promote a lot of incompetence. And what the service company, they just rub a stamp. All that they send, they didn't add, they didn't alter, they didn't correct nothing. Well, they didn't have time for that. And somebody asks, why don't we check on personal files. And still there, we get check on files. We don't know the police, and let me give the police what they want. I was instructed, whatever the police send, let me rubber stamp it. So all sort of things going wrong with promotion.
Well said, well said, well said. And again, they're not listening, so things are going. Well, they're listening, but they are very selective, and they're not listening to the. They're looking at the messenger. They're looking at the messenger, but I think it would pay them well to take into consideration the message. Now, last week I spoke about a matter where this businessman, the Bobby's businessman, was charged with causing death by dangerous driving. And the facts for guys, got to repeat sometimes because people are coming on all the time. For example, Boxon says the first time he joined this program. I don't know if he has gone to YouTube to look at the previous ones. If he has not, I'll encourage him to do so. But last week, the issue of this Bobby's businessman who was charged for causing death by dangerous driving came up. And what is the issue? There was this wedding, at somewhere in Kanji. And there was an altercation between somebody and some other people. And one of these guys called this businessman on the phone, and the businessman arrived on the scene in his pickup truck. Now, somehow he got involved in the argument as well. He then jumped into his vehicle, drove into the crowd. He used his vehicle as a weapon, drove into the crowd, and according to the report, he hit and killed a man who was not part of the altercation. He was standing somewhere and injured somebody else. And therefore, the question is, how come that is causing death by dangerous driving? I read yesterday, this world, guy, is not a real place. So he appeared before the magistrate, charged with causing death by dangerous driving and some other offenses. The causing death by dangerous driving is indictable. So the other offenses like failing to render assistance and leaving the scene of accident, those are summary offenses. And he was remanded by the magistrate, correctly so. He was remanded by the magistrate. The man moved to the High Court in Barbados for bail. The man moved to the High Court for bail. And the judge, again, I think correctly so, refused. So he's still on remand. But the question remains, how can that, given the circumstances as outlined by the eyewitnesses and the media, how can such a matter be causing death by dangerous driving? I know I did the research only this week. I think it was the 8th or something. Let me read briefly what happened. They say a city bus driver, this is in Canada, a real place, not Guyana, that is not a real place. A city bus driver is facing first-degree murder charges after his vehicle rammed into a daycare center in a Montreal suburb on Wednesday, that is Wednesday the 8th or sometime around then, killing 2 children and injuring 6 others. He is charged with first-degree murder. He is charged with first-degree murder. And then they only, this very week, today is Wednesday, this very week, there was an incident in Brooklyn where police charged a man with murder in the 2nd degree and 7 counts of attempt murder on Tuesday, that is yesterday, after he allegedly sped through Brooklyn in a U-Haul on Monday, that is Monday gone, fatally striking 1 person and injuring several others. So this man drove, I saw the video, he drove through the place and the pavement, people run out the way, he struck and killed 1 person, he injured several, he is charged with murder in the 2nd degree. Well, in the States, when they talk about 2nd degree murder, is what we call in Guyana manslaughter. So this man in Guyana used his vehicle as a weapon, drove into a crowd, killed 1 man, injured, and all the charge for is causing death by dangerous driving. So the fact that other persons will be injured, nothing, apart from who are injured, nothing. And as I said, the man had the temerity to move to the court to seek bail. But again, people should be calling out. I am calling on the people, my media colleagues, well, not colleagues, I'm not a media man, my media friends, to find out from the DPP's chamber, how come, given the facts that you have highlighted in your newspaper, how come there is causing death by dangerous driving? How come? And as I said, in other jurisdictions, I read from Canada, I read from New York, people drive the vehicle recklessly, kill people. In the case of Canada, first-degree murder. In the case of New York, second-degree murder. And we in Guyana, the man is charged for causing death by dangerous driving. And the fact that he endangered the lives of others, the fact that he injured somebody else, the gun under the carpet. Guyana cannot be a real place when something like that is happening. Cannot be a real place. And I thought I will mention it, and I will continue to mention it because this maybe, let me be fair, maybe there are other circumstances which would explain why causing death and not manslaughter or murder. But let the DPP should come and explain to the public. The DPP should explain to the public why, given the fact that this man got into an altercation. First of all, remember, he wasn't there. He was called to the scene. He came to the scene in his vehicle. He got involved in an argument. He jumped into his vehicle and drove into this crowd, struck and killed one, injured others, and all they do, they tell you that that is causing death by dangerous driving. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Mr. Conway, do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, Paul. And I could recall hearing recently from the Attorney General, he's saying that he's going to put in legislation to change the charge from causing death by dangerous driving to murder. And if you look at the guy, the reports I get in, the allegations I getting is that he's getting preferential treatment. He when he committed the offense, the murder, he run to a senior police officer in Borbis. And even when you look at when he went to court, the escorting rank had his hand on his shoulder, a body relationship, no handcuff on him. I always remembered in the Michael Jackson trial with his doctor, since the judge say guilty, a policeman appeared from nowhere and put a handcuff on him. I remember Ashley Singh, they put a handcuff on Ashley Singh. And here's a case where a man committed a murder and he's just walking gingerly, a policeman hand on his shoulder, gone into court there. Preferential treatment.
Yeah, but he doesn't speak well. I know the Attorney General likes to speak about the rule of law. Something like that doesn't speak well for the rule of law in Guyana. This man deliberately jumped into his vehicle and mowed down the crowd, killing a man, injuring others, and he causing death by dangerous driving in respect to the one man that was killed. But what happened to all the other people who were, at least the other man that was injured, so nothing can happen to him? Nothing is going to, well, let me see. And I'm saying that the media should ask the DPP to give an explanation. I know they don't like talk and that. They're going to say all kind of thing. But the media, the Guyanese public should deserve an explanation as to why a charge of at least manslaughter was not instituted against this man. If you're talking about the lawlessness on the road, and so often they talk about the need to have stronger punishment and all of that. Basically, what you're saying here now, if me and a man get wrong, all I got to do is jump in my vehicle and run you over, and all it's going to happen, I get a causing death by dangerous driving. So it's not murder, it's not manslaughter any longer, right? You might get into some altercation, jam me down. I'm not saying that you must do that. Don't quote me. Don't go and say tell people run over people with vehicle, because I know these trench crappers and these amphibians like to get their own interpretation. They are so shallow that they can't understand what you're saying. I'm saying that if you allow something like that to go, the message that you are sending is that, hey, if you knock down a man with your vehicle and you get wrong, you knock you down with the vehicle, all you're going to get is a car in there by dangerous driving. And in many cases, perhaps you're going to put on bail. So it does not send the right message when you're forming road safety associations and when you're saying that you want to clamp down on the lawlessness on the roads in Guyana. So I have to make that point. Somebody is saying, hey, we should talk about the security guard situation. Now, I have been saying repeatedly, Mr. Conway has been supporting me and people in the comments, that the private security arrangement in Guyana gone out of whack. Every and anybody farming security company, there is a report where someone who was the principal in a security company, he is charged now with conspiracy to commit murder. Someone, he and his business partner fall out, and they had issued a wanted bulletin for him last week, but now they're saying that he's charged for conspiracy to commit murder, and all kinds of things happening. All kinds. See, let me show the audience this. Somebody tell I get a video. As I told you all this year, we want to make sure we're trying to make sure that now this video. Look at this video carefully, folks. Look at this video that we're showing here. Look at this video. I'm gonna show it back. You're gonna see what happening there. This is a security guard. Look like he has a shotgun. And when it show back, you're gonna see. I'm gonna show it until you understand what really taking place. Look! He picking up the shotgun, and he happy like a rabbit. He going away. Look what happened. If you look carefully, the shotgun, the muzzle or the mouth of the shotgun is resting on his right foot. The mouth of the shotgun, it appears to be a pump action shotgun, is resting on his right foot. Let me play. And then somehow he finger on the trigger. Badam, he shoot his foot. Badam, the man shoot his foot. Look, he examining. He can't believe that he shoot his own foot. Look, the shotgun fall. They recoil from the shotgun, throw it out the hand. The shotgun fall. What he picking up now, and then he bunks in. He bunks in and he goes again. Watch at it carefully one more time. Bow! Shotgun go off there. He examining. He can't believe, but it's you, the partner. You do that. So this is what we have. There's only one case, you know. That is only one case. And you know, last week, let me give some clarification. Last week, I mentioned that there's nothing like an accidental discharge when it comes to firearm. And some of my people have scolded me, say yes, there can be accidental discharge in certain circumstances. And I concede that a firearm in certain circumstances can be accidentally discharged. But what we're talking about here, the video that I just showed, and the one in Border Market, for example, where the man said he was removing the gun from his waist, it went off, shot him through his palm, and then shot a 15-year-old. You don't hear anything about that? That done. That's not accidental. Then you have the case where the one on the East Bank playing Russian roulette, and the thing fire off and shot a man. Them thing is not accidental. So while I concede that there are technical circumstances in which a firearm can be accidentally discharged, I am saying that these things that we are seeing are not accidental. This one, for example, let me show it again. This one, the man got his shotgun, the muzzle of the shotgun on his foot. The muzzle of the shotgun on his foot. And then the finger, obviously, on the trigger, because the firearm could not have gone off unless he squeezed the trigger. And then look, the blood on the floor. And then the man in disbelief, how can I shoot my own foot? He reminds me of Oracle. Did I do that? Y'all remember that sitcom? Did I do that? The man shoot his own foot. The man shoot his own foot and then look in disbelief. And then he think and he go away. That is what, that is not accidental. That is not accidental. And then you have so many other issues with this security guard. Chisel chill pepper, you're late bad indeed, boy. You're late bad indeed, right? But you know, as we would normally say, you come late. Once the show is finished, it's gonna be on YouTube, so we can go there and you can catch up. I mean, you're not gonna be able to comment live, but you family matters, Abdul, yeah, you're not gonna be able to comment live. But Abdul is reminding us that the thing where Oracle, they said, did I do that? That was Family Matters, was the name of the show. And that is what you're going on. And as Triforza just said, it's a lucky thing that people, innocent people were not injured. because he's so careless. He shot his own foot. He can bear the muzzle of the shotgun could have been pointing in some other direction. It appears as though he was in some shop, some supermarket. And that is what I have been lamenting. The fact that these people get assault rifles, shotguns, and pistols in areas where you are certain that if there is a problem, innocent people are going to be injured or killed. There's no question about that. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that. So that is what you have. And then I have a next one here. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. As I told y'all, we trying to make sure that all of these things now. Look this one. Look at this one. You see it in the middle here. This is a guard. This is a security guard. The man sit down there with the Valentine Day shot, and it's an assault rifle. This man has an assault rifle there with him. He has an assault rifle. Now, what is a security guard doing with an assault rifle at some store? Based on what I believe this store is somewhere in North Road, somewhere there. That is what you have. People passing and taking out these pictures and sending them. The man sits there with an assault rifle. So that is what is going on. And as we have said, nobody is taking this thing and pulling these things or causing the security guards to cooperate in a manner consistent with the law. Because the law tells you about training. Even the man who sits in the chair not so long ago make enough statement as he is wont to do. Make all sort of statement and no effect to it about training of the security, private security personnel, and so on. All of those things they are saying, and nothing and happening. Nothing. So we getting all of these incidents over the past, for the past couple of months. There are so many incidents involving security companies. I see one where one charge, I made a note, one charge recently for robbery, some woman in Kingston, Iran. One found somewhere in the East Bank, a sting operation, he's trying to sell a fragmentation grenade. Huh? You get so many others, and nothing is being done. And of course, you have incidents too, the type of firearm, where firearms, up to now, they can't say what happened to the 11 firearms, at least all 11 that were stolen from the company around Christmas time. Mr. Conway, you hear anything about that one?
Nothing, and then the security company and son is still operating. They call for a clear case of suspension and let them show cause why the license should not be revoked. It is in the law. And so much madness going on. The one with a high power rifle, he got civilian clothing. Thing is going to come on there and police going to respond and maybe they may get shoot because police may take them for bandits. The law is clear that they must have the uniform on and with the identity card, the name tag as we call it, the identity card. And we're talking about training. What training they're getting? And who's there to train them? And some of them, they're not supernumerary constables. And by the way, I hear we call it precepts on sale. You could buy precepts on sale.
Now explain to our viewers what a precept is.
Precepts is like the ID card, the authority for you to become a supernumerary constable, and it's signed either by the admin man or something. That's your authority to carry out your functions, your ID card, and you gotta be a sworn member of the supernumerary constabulary to have your one. But you see, they're taking so long. People apply. Hey, I want these people to be processed for security to supernumerary constable, and it takes a long time. Perhaps they're doing so that you take a long time and say, "By let me give you a little something, the man, for speed up this thing." All the cars in the corruption what going on there. That they're supposed to have they work all there, like the police say they get the ID card. They're supposed to have that.
The authority to perform supernumerary.
But Paul, I was told that precepts are on sale. You go to a certain one and get a precepts with certain people with genuine signature. And if you check the old book, those persons' name not recorded in the old book that they were sworn, but they get precept.
Well, Roshan Khan, I think it is said not so long ago that the old system needs to be looked at because he's saying that if you are in an interior location and you're recruiting people to be in your company, all the arrangements, the swearing and all of these things, training are done. All of these things are done in Georgetown. So if a man had let him is to be made a supernumerary constable, he has to travel to town to be sworn and all of that. So something is wrong. These people need to look at this thing. Something is definitely wrong. And I'm going to continue to talk about it with the expectation, well, more hope than expectation, that they will act. I know they're listening. I know this thing is going to get to them. Some of them listening live. And some people have to report on what Slow and Conway said. So we hope they understand that this security thing, the private security arrangement is in Guyana is out of control. And we have been providing evidence. Man shoot his foot. They had one on the East Coast somewhere where a man, security guard, shoot injure innocent people standing by. They get shooting security guard, we say, playing Russian roulette with the weapon. The one 2 weeks into employment, he's given a 9mm pistol. He shoots himself in the hand, shoot a 15-year-old boy who's standing by. And you don't hear anything because up to now, you don't hear what is the story. Whether this little boy has recovered, whether he's still in the hospital, you don't hear anything.
And
You
Paul movie tongue shooting, nothing.
the movie tongue. Well, the movie tongue incident recently, the crime chief is reported to have said that the injured man is not cooperating with the police. He has not provided any statement. I read that somewhere recently. I think it was in Starbrook News or someone in the dailies said that the crime chief is saying that the injured man is not cooperating with the police in their investigation. But something needs to be done. Every time the canary get gone and without any training. And a couple of weeks ago, one of these amphibians come up and talk a lot of crap about people should get gun and so on. Nobody not saying that people should not get firearm. What we're saying that you have to set the criteria, and people, once you agree that you should get, they have to be properly trained. They have to be properly trained. That is a key to this whole thing. By giving people firearm, they ain't get no training. Have you seen this man who shoot off his foot or shoot his foot and properly trained? Have you seen the man who shot himself in the palm and injured a 15-year-old boy and properly trained? The one who played Russian roulette. So that's what we're saying. I am not saying that people who are qualified, bona fide businessmen and all of that should not get firearm. But the mere fact that you have a business, that should not qualify you to get a firearm. You got to get a lot of things more because, as I've said previously, in Guyana got the most businessmen per capita in this whole world. Because when the time a man set up a little sweetie stand, you ask what is the occupation, he said businessman. He sell a little guinea and mango. What is your occupation? Businessman. So Guyana got the most businessmen in the world. So you have to do a proper check. See anything more on this security guard?
Yeah. Let me back to the movie tongue. A man isn't cooperating. What about the ballistics? What about the forensic? Huh? I can't tell unless I heard anything or have seen anything where the police at the scene of a crime pick up something and connect it to the perpetrator. Look at theory of exchange telling you, hey, something will remain there, or the victim or the person will carry away something from him. A piece of cloth, a shot button, something, if you do meticulous investigation at the scene, no one waiting for man saying not cooperating. There got to be other evidence, a lot of wrong, a lot of spential they found. We used to get a ballistic data. I think you were instrumental in getting the thing set up. They don't make checks. Find this during the crime spree. We used to hear this spent shell was fired by that weapon, as the case may be. They don't do them things anymore. That you win or lose a case at the scene of a crime, and the forensic is more compelling than anything else. The ballistics got to show something, but no, they're not doing no proper investigation. Wait for man talk, and the man are going to talk, and the story done.
Well, well said, my brother. Well said. Now, the next thing that I saw, and I couldn't believe it, Yeah, right, Sean. I have it listed there. Sean said there's another one. Let me put it up. Sean said there's another one. Yeah, I saw that, Sean. There's another one where the security guard chasing the other man with a cutlass in Eccles. I saw that in the news where the security guard, some story according to the news, he had the man had some altercation sometime before, and then he saw the man there, he on duty at some place, he picked up a cutlass and chased. Good thing it appears as though he wasn't armed with a firearm, because if his temperament is of such that you will pick up a cutlass, for those of you who don't know, this program going all over the world, machete is another name for cutlass. We call it in Guyana and some places in the Caribbean cutlass. Cutlass, cutlass. But you refer to it in North America, machete, and those things. Same thing. He picks up this cutlass and he chases the man around the place. Luckily, perhaps he didn't catch up with the man. But it shows the temperament of some of these people who are recruited as security. It shows that. Now, I was about to say that I saw something that really is, to me, is amazing. I saw a news article which is stating that the police are planning to establish a mobile let's say police outpost in the Seawall Bandstand area. And again, I am conscious of the fact that a lot of people don't know the geography. So we talk about seawall. That is the wall that is built to keep the Atlantic Ocean off the coast of Guyana. You know, Guyana, the coastline of Guyana is said to be about 1 meter below sea level. So it's this concrete wall along the coast to prevent the water from coming in at high tide. And that is a popular recreation spot for a lot of people. They go there on the wall and you hang out and you lime, as the case may be. They have been doing some upgrades. Certain areas get itinerant food vendors, some things that are even more prominent. So the plan is, I understand, don't know how true it is, that they plan to establish a police outpost at the seawall. And I should tell you further, the seawall, the area where this thing is to be established, is just outside police headquarters, just at the back of police headquarters. In other words, if you walk out the back gate at police headquarters, within half a minute or less, you are on the seawall. And that is where they plan to put up a police outpost. And more than that, let me show you what the things say, what the outpost is supposed to look like. This image that you have here is what they say this police outpost at the seawall is going to look like. I don't know what material it is made out of, but I can't see the need for a permanent or a fixed police outpost on the seawall. Can't. Yes, you might have times and occasions when you need to have a robust police presence. But you know, I did some research and I look, they get here. These are mobile police outposts. Why can't they acquire mobile police outposts, which you can then move not only to the seawall, but to other areas at the need arises? You get an activity someplace, you should have several mobile police outposts so that when you have an activity, you can go there and police the activity. But to say that you're going to build a fixed outpost just outside police headquarters on the seawall, somebody ain't thinking. Or as the boys would say, money got we make. It's either somebody ain't thinking or money got for make. Again, I say yes, there might be need, but you know that the seawall that we're talking about, they're not activities there 24/7. They are not activities there 24/7. No matter how you develop that place, you're not going to have activities there 24/7. There are going to be times when you're going to have activity and you need to have a police presence. A mobile outpost should be the thing. So that when the activity subsides, when people have moved on, you can move perhaps to some area. And that is what I think should be the thing. So those of you who are listening, and I just turn up here, I just pull up a couple of pictures and show it to tell you, give you the idea of a mobile outpost. Those of you who go around Brooklyn in particular, I know Brooklyn, I know certain areas of Brooklyn, certain areas that are considered crime prone, they have police outposts. They have a mobile outpost. It is there during certain times. A mobile outpost. So I would think that, again, people get these brainwaves, people get these brain waves, and these things are not carefully thought out. And I would hope that now that, well, again, I look at the messenger because it's slow on Conway, it appears on slow on Conway program. They might say, they might say, Kaya, you all are you so and so. We are listening to what you people have to say. But I'm saying these things, somebody say a good thing keep it bad idea or something like that. Then somebody is saying here, Derek is saying many of these private security agencies do not honor their statutory obligations with respect to NIS, and inspectors are debarred from visiting and taking corrective action. Well, is friends, family, and favorite. And talking about NIS, I'm glad that you mentioned it, Derek, because I've been encouraging members of the force, especially those who are approaching retirement age, to go into the NIS and to make sure that your contributions are intact. I had the experience where I retired in 1955 at 55 years old in 2010. A retired colleague told me that I should go and check my contributions. And I told him, I said, you don't get pension till you're 60, so I got 5 years. Ma said, hey, go and check. And I followed his guidance, his advice. I went and I checked and discovered that they had problems with my contributions. At one stage, something like about 10 years missing. And they had to then do the reconciliation, because what they explained is that the police and all policemen have to understand, at least at that time, had this issue where monies were paid over in block. The police pay so much $1 million to NIS for members of the force, but they did not say so much is so slow, so much to Conway, so much to this person, but the money was there. So they have to go now and do an investigation to do the reconciliation, and that takes time. So my recommendation to you is to go in and make sure that your contributions are up to date. So that, and remember, it's not only when you retire, because even as a serving member, you might have the need to make use of the National Insurance Scheme, NIS. So please, somebody said the police outpost is to find a way to thief more money. And somebody's asking here, why do you need a police outpost at the Seawall bandstand? Just a mere straw from police headquarters. Idiotic. Hashtag run-ins. I agree. There again, I say you might need police presence, because I know not only at Easter time, but on Sunday afternoons and many other times you have people congregating in this area. You need a police presence, no doubt. I have no issue with that. But to build a permanent outpost at that location, to me, makes absolutely no sense. It is better to invest in a mobile outpost, and not the ones that you have at Sabruk Market and by the Munishwar town. Mobile, something that can move. You go there for a particular time, the activity is over or it is allowed, you move. You can leave ranks and duty and beat. But in terms of having the outpost, you need to look at that. CC, let me hear you.
Agree with you, and as you mentioned, apart from mobile, you set up a beat. Simple. A beat that the police will be there, and then you're creating the perception with outposts that crime is high in the area. That we are talking about tourism, and we want people to visit the place, and then you put up outposts. There's a crime high by. We gotta get police presence there all the time.
Well, as the viewer saying, police outposts just at the back of police headquarters,
Yeah.
a stone's throw on the back of police headquarters, that can't make no sense. A fixed, this is a fixed structure we're talking about. Let me show it again. We're talking here about a fixed structure. This is what the picture says it is supposed to be. We don't know how true it is, but this is what is carried to say this is what it's a fixed thing on a concrete base, and it looked like a container converted. One of those looked to me like a converted container. So you could imagine what will go on there when the sun comes up. You can imagine what will go on. You don't even know what's going to happen with bathroom facilities and all of that. This thing is idiotic. If that is what is they're going to do. This is what they are to put up there just outside the bandstand. That is what. That is what the thing is saying. And I will hope somebody will come and clarify and say that is not true. I hope they come to say that that is not true. Patrick, you're right. Because back in our day, as trainees, you used to have to, you get beats on the seawall. You get beats on the seawall where trainees used to come. Police is a uniform presence. I mean, you're training, so you know a lot of things you know, but you had a uniform presence, right? You had a lot of you had a uniform presence, which is reassuring to the members of the public and to give the ranks in training some practice and working the beat duty and all of that. So let's hope that this is not what they intend to do, or even if they intend to do, there will be a change and they will decide, well, look, that this thing and make no sense. Agree with Slow for once that this thing and make no sense. You know, time really flies. We are 1 hour and 37 minutes already. CC, let me invite you to give your closing remarks. We have a lot of other issues, but I think I can wait for next week. One of
Yeah,
the issues is this fake doctor. You know the fake
yeah,
doctor you have? The fake doctor, the man who they parading as a doctor and treating people. He was charged a few weeks ago. He got off, which is not surprising. A lot of these cases, people walking free.
yeah.
So, CC, your closing remarks.
All right. I know the things we deal with next week. I want to leave something for them to ponder on. It's an Indian fable. I heard it from one of my mentors, Major General Norman McLean. It's very short. Here it is. When the fence starts to eat the crops, there is no security. Let me repeat. When the fence starts to eat the crops, there is no security. And I leave it to them to ponder on it. I will not go into details.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Have a good day. And let me say this. I omitted to mention at the start. I wanted to congratulate the first half of course 74. I joined the force in 1974, and the course number was 74. And we came in two halves. The first half came in on February the 15th, 1974. So today is the 49th anniversary. So people like Buxton, who's on this live, Carl Hartman, who's on this live, and some others, those are just reminding you that today is your 49th anniversary. It's a day like today, the 15th of February, 1974, you joined the force. So I want to congratulate all of you. The other half joined on the 1st of March. So our anniversary is rapidly approaching. I wish you all well, and we have maintained this camaraderie over the years, throughout the years. And I know we are planning for a big reunion. Buxton, BX, you have to spearhead this thing as you would normally do. I know since last year they were talking about a reunion for the 50th anniversary. So we got to work on that. We have got to work on that. So I was to mention it at the beginning of the program, but it slipped me. You know, we got into talking about the thing, and I was telling you about what my mother told me, to be careful with stray dogs, to be careful, because just stray dog could bite you and you get rabies. She warned me about little bike on bicycle and get brakes. And then she warned me about those who are weak down the leg side, the anger manners. And I got distracted and I did not remember to congratulate my squaddies at the start of the program. Someone is asking what happened to Sergeant Bascom. There's a secret you got to ask the people who came from the RAS. You have to ask them. They are the ones who know about the Bascom matter. Doreen, Squaddy, welcome. You got 2 more weeks, yes. I remember we joined the same day, 4th of March. I think it was a Friday. We joined. And let me tell you again, for those who are on this program with Squadmate, 1974 when they joined, I did the research, you know, I like my research. What did I say here? I have it somewhere that the first person, the code 74, 9363. Yeah, I have it here. 9363, Dudsley Aaron. And that's on the 15th of February, and it went on the way to, I think, on 94, 85, Hashim the Groot. So it was 93, 63 to 94, 85. And then from 94, 94, 86, Allen, right on to Fraser, 95, 68, I think Fraser was. We came in on the 1st of March. So yes, again, for the people who look at these things, 93, 63, Dudley, Aaron, to 9485, Hashim the Groot, they joined on the 15th of February. And for the women, on the 15th of February, it was W317 Radhika Singh to W343 Lilette Wilson. Lilette Wilson was a national hockey player. She died some years ago. So that was a group that came in on the 15th of February 1974. So I see Miss Kwadi Hartman thanking me for the, remember, Paul, Carl, did you remember your anniversary? You're saying you're thanking me for remembering it. Did you remember that today was your 49th anniversary? Let me know. You're very late, Raul. Raul, you're very late. This deserving now of a fine. And you will have to make good. Speak to the secretary. You can't come now when the program has almost ended. And the thing. Godfrey, Gregory saying that he agreed. Well, a lot of the things we talking facts, a lot of the crap program come out, but we embody with them. We're not about with them. Somebody said, "Oh yes, no, we're only old. We are geriatrics according to the thing. We are geriatrics because according to the dictionary, once you pass 65, you're geriatrics, and we are proud of being there. So we are entitled to what they call in Ghana old age pension. Yeah, Brendan, old and proud. I know you're making joke with me, but this is a fit old man, fit old man. I still in the gym and do my thing. Now, yes, Patricia, thank you. Informative program. Good morning, Jerome. You're late. Now, I just want to leave and, normally caution about COVID. Up to this morning, knew somebody died recently about COVID, and therefore you need to continue to be careful. You need to continue to take all the precautions that we have been told to take. By now, we know what they are. I don't need to repeat them. Look after yourself, folks. Look after yourselves. So I think that has brought us to the end of today's program. Well, 1 hour, 1 3/4 hours long program. Derek Rodney, not late, but absent. He absent, yes. But Derek, late and absent is the same thing, Let me extend a little to tell you as a whole man dealing with the Police Discipline Act. In police discipline, whether you're late or you're absent is under the same section, Section 4N. Section 4N is the one that deals with late and absent. So I can say that you want to come to work at 11 o'clock and you come at 11:30, so you are absent between this period. And I could always say that you are late. So people just use it interchangeably. So yeah, Carl say you remember. He say you remember, but he's thanking me for remembering it. Good. So yes, until next Wednesday. And again, I tell you, let me tell you, apart from sharing, please go to YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Please go. The channel is gaining in popularity, and it's all because of you. Go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button, so whenever we go live, you are going to get the information. And as you would have seen today, is the first time where we have tried to show you some videos and show some graphics. That is what we are going to continue to do to make the program even more interesting. So go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, notification button to get the notification. Make sure you share, let people know about the program. Those of you who came on late and people who want to see, go to YouTube. The program is going to be there live. You can watch at your leisure. All the previous programs, today, this is the 6th episode of season 2. All are there for you to go and for you to look at. So encourage people to go. As I said last week, program over 8,000 views. So despite what they're saying, we are going from strength to strength. So until next Wednesday, for another episode, which will be the 7th episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Bye for now. Have a good week.